locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke Loves Rasslin.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
It's all about the game and how you play it.
You're right over there.
How's
We're
that?
straining for that one.
That was my Motorhead impersonation of Triple H's theme song.
No.
Time to play the game.
No Triple H on this show.
No, there's
You
plenty.
know there's a ban on that doofus.
All right. Don't be disrespectful, please.
He shouldn't be disrespecting any wrestling fan by being still involved.
All right. So here's what I don't understand.
Don't get me started.
We just started the show, and you're already disrespecting Triple H.
Yeah, because he's a doofus.
All right. You know, you should have never learned that word. That's what's CM Punk. I blame you for this. Okay, I blame you. Got the Boston bad boy calling Triple H derogatory names, and I don't like it.
You say derogatory. I just say descriptive.
All right. Well, I'm sick
it's a little bit different for each. For us, apparently.
Whatever, wise guy. Welcome back to Duke Loves Rasslin. I am the Duke, and yes, I do enjoy doing pro wrestler impersonations, including their theme songs, and I'm going to keep on doing them, no matter what my illustrious co-host, the Boston bad boy Iron Mike Pelosi, says.
We don't have the rights for their theme song, so unless you want to pay out of pocket to the WWE. More than you already do with all your stupid networks that you pay for and pay-per-views, I suggest stop singing, for the love of God.
That's actually a good point. See that? What's going to happen this weekend at Survivor Series? We're going to find out during Run the Ropes. Prince Kanu, he drops by to bless us with some royalty. Can't wait for that.
Is he a seafaring prince?
I'm
Prince
pretty
Kanu?
sure. Well, he could be. You should ask him that and see what happens. You ask him that and see what happens, Steve pal.
I just might.
Yeah, please. Plus, I'm going to make the Boston bad boy do his job and finally get to your listener-submitted
don't even
questions.
Give me this. Finally,
okay? During Ask Duke. He's going to do
I'm
his
not going
job.
to get into it right now, but it's not finally. I went and did what I had to do that you don't do.
Whatever. Before we get to any of that,
yeah.
Boston bad boy.
Yep.
Steven Tyler is not happy with Ric Flair.
Really?
Yeah, this is really ridiculous.
I did see this. Do you mean Steven Tyler?
Hey, this is Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
That's Steven Tyler?
That's Steven Tyler. This fool. This guy is upset with Ric Flair. TMZ interviewed him, and he had the audacity to say that Ric Flair is a liar and that he doesn't believe Flair slept with over 10,000 women.
Well, you know...
Give me a break.
Listen.
What does he care?
Well, that is weird to ask.
Come on.
Because somehow he felt slighted by that,
Yeah,
I guess.
sure. Like, hey, who's Ric Flair having more women than me? Like, come on, buddy.
Right.
Really?
Listen, to me, Ric Flair is like Santa Claus.
Sure.
He's more of an idea than an actual person. I mean, he's an actual person.
He is an actual person.
But Ric Flair is bigger than any one man.
Absolutely.
So if he says 10,000...
Sure.
We're talking in metaphors here, really, most of the time.
Yeah, because
anyway.
it's probably closer to 100,000. I get that. But,
right. That's exactly what it is.
Absolutely.
No, I think that Tyler, it's weird. He probably watched the 30 for 30.
Yes.
And it was probably on his mind. I don't know where he was being interviewed and for what purpose. I don't know that they're touring or anything.
No, TMZ will just stick a microphone in your face wherever you're at and just ask you random questions.
Well, I mean, Tyler and those guys had reputations not only for heavy drug use.
Sure.
But for like a lot of bands of the era, and especially in the '80s, the Def Leppards and the Guns N' Roses.
Yep.
There's a lot of groupie action going on.
So he's jealous of Ric Flair.
Yeah, well, I just think this is like the feud, right? It's like who's cooler, rock and roll or pro wrestling?
Sure.
So Flair went out there and just said 10,000.
That's it.
Like he said a number. No one's ever really put a number on it.
No, except for Wilt Chamberlain, but
and we were pretty. No one ever doubted Chamberlain's number. I don't.
No,
think.
of course not, because he's Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, you kidding me?
What was the number? Do you remember off the top of your head? Like, where were we?
It was
close
something.
to Flair?
No, it was way beyond that.
Oh, it was beyond.
Yeah, it was beyond that.
It was beyond.
Yeah.
10,000.
Yeah. Wilt Chamberlain.
But no one questioned him.
Why would you? He's Wilt Chamberlain.
Right.
But you're going to question Ric Flair?
Well,
Space Mountain? Give me a break. Give me a break.
I have to wonder if the actual figures for people who have ridden the ride Space Mountain exceed who's ridden Space. You know what I mean? Like, if you did a comparison between the actual physical ride at Disneyland and Ric Flair's number that he's claimed rode
Sure,
Space Mountain.
sure.
They might be close.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm telling you, he's the inspiration.
Oh, he's something, all right.
All I'm going to say is Steven Tyler, spend less time worrying about who's in Ric Flair's bed and more time on the fact that you need to get your act together. That's
Well,
the end of that chapter.
that has been known for quite a while.
Yes.
I mean, Tyler has struggled with addiction and falling off stages and
Sure,
things. And
sure.
so
And he's going to talk about Ric Flair?
I got to say, I've met Steven Tyler.
Okay.
And this is not name dropping, but I've met him several times. And not just in like the autograph signing. I've worked with him in the studio.
He's
and
from
stuff.
around
He's
here,
from
right?
around here.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that when he comes into a room when you're working and we're producing a show or whatever, he makes a point to say hello to everybody in the room. Like from an intern to myself to the host, just very genuine.
Sure.
So he's a nice guy. I wish him well through his very publicized struggles, but I don't know that taking on Ric Flair at the 10,000 number is going to work for anybody.
Ric Flair would put him in the figure four. He better watch his mouth when he talks about the
I'm
nature
surprised Tyler, with his
All right.
bombastic personality, never somehow crossed over into the wrestling world. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't
Sure.
a tie-in with Aerosmith and WWE.
You know what? Maybe WWE didn't want him, and that's why he's upset with Ric Flair. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe it is. Because like Trump got a stunner.
Everybody else, yeah. Everybody
Right.
else is involved.
Maybe he's mad about that.
That must be it. That must be
I don't
it.
know if that's it, but it's as good a theory as any you're going to find.
Steven Tyler, watch your mouth when you talk about Ric Flair. It's time to run the ropes. This is where I educate that knucklehead Boston bad boy on the top stories in the world of professional wrestling, and there is no story bigger than the Survivor Series. That's happening live this Sunday on the WWE Network, folks. So we're going to have the Boston bad boy read off the matches, and I'm going to give my prediction on each and every one of them there.
Oh, well, that's good because so to everybody listening, if you haven't listened to this show before, when Duke gives a prediction, we want you to take your little sheet and mark down the opposite of what he says, because historically he has a losing average. You're no Ace Rothstein. Let me tell you,
all right.
you're not a big handicapper.
Yeah, thanks.
When it comes to the wrestling world.
No one muscles Nikki. Nikki is the muscle.
Yeah,
Okay, come on.
exactly right.
All right, what do you got?
So, are we starting from the top down or the bottom up? How do you want to do this?
Let's start from the top down because those are the most important matches. I mean, I know we can start with the
vomit, but
with the
I gotta start
two
with it.
world champions taking on each other.
So you've got Brock Lesnar
Yep.
versus AJ Styles.
So here's my prediction.
Yeah.
There's going to be interference.
Oh.
And
Not
the
going to be a clean, whatever
Nope,
it is.
Not going to be a clean victory, and the interference is going to cause Brock Lesnar to lose.
So
to AJ
Styles
Styles.
takes it in a not clean way.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, is that because they need to get rid of Brock Lesnar because he's a dinosaur?
Well, the titles are not up for grabs.
Oh,
This
they're
is
not.
just
Okay.
bragging rights, basically, because
So
they
it's
got the
pointless.
two separate shows, and you don't want to combine
So it's
the
a cash
titles.
grab then.
All right,
It's a cash grab. Okay, wait, I'm going to make a note here. Not clean win. Also, Boston Bad Boys prediction, cash grab.
you just
Cash grab.
so disrespectful,
G-R-A.
man. I mean, I just don't understand you sometimes.
Okay, moving on.
Disgrace.
From that stupid match.
Okay.
we'll go to the group match.
Sure.
The Shield
With that disgusting Roman Reigns, okay.
with
My arch
Roman
nemesis.
Reigns, your phony arch.
My
nemesis,
arch nemesis.
versus the New Day.
New Day wins 100%.
Is that just because
Hands
you hate
down.
Roman Reigns?
Absolutely.
That's not how you.
That's all I need. That's all I
See,
need.
This is why you fail, because you let your passion take over.
I'm a
eclipse your
passionate
mind.
guy. I'm a passionate guy.
Oh, really?
Okay? Yeah,
Yeah,
I am.
you're a real
I am.
Casanova.
New
Let me tell
Day
you.
rocks, okay?
No,
That's
you
it.
just hate Roman Reigns, and I don't know anything about these people.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But just because you said that,
Yeah.
I'm going to say that the Shield wins. This is my prediction, and your prediction is the New Day, and you're going to be wrong.
Well, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but you're wrong. How about that? That's it.
I'm right, and that's just the end of it.
Yeah,
Moving
I'm
on
sure
to
you're
the women's champions, Alexa Bliss versus Charlotte Flair.
This is a tough one.
Because we know you're a fan of the Flair family.
Obviously, but Alexa Bliss is my MVP.
Okay.
I say this all the time. You know, I've been singing her praises from day one.
That is true.
And I predicted all of her success. You noticed that, right? Before she even
I
won a
actually
championship, I
haven't
said
been paying attention at all.
Stop it. On this show, before she even won a championship, I
Yep.
said she was going to be it. And
Yeah.
she's been it. 100%.
Yeah, she's one of the big names.
She is one of the big names. Alexa Bliss wins. I'm putting her over on this one, man.
I'm writing this down, and I hope, again, those of you at home are writing it down.
Yes.
And you're going to be able to submit on the Facebook page or call into the show and tell Duke how wrong he was, and we can all laugh at him together.
Stop it.
We'll all laugh at him together. So I'm going to say the opposite of you. I'm going to say Charlotte Flair.
Okay.
Just based on your...
You just had to do that.
Yeah.
Please.
All right, so then we're going to move on to the mid-card champs. The Miz takes on Baron Corbin.
You know, I want The Miz to win this match, and it would make sense, but Baron Corbin needs this win. It would make him look great to win this match.
So Baron Corbin, been through a lot.
Yep.
These past couple of weeks,
months.
the
whole CTE nonsense and all that.
This and that.
Yep.
For that reason, I don't think they give it to him because he opened his big fat mouth.
They're going to make him lose to The Miz.
Do we agree on that?
Yeah, we agree on that.
Right. But I think we have different reasons, but we agree. I see, now I feel strange agreeing with you because I don't know.
Bask in the agreement.
That's going against my own instinct. But unlike you, I'm not going to let my personal preferences go in the way of a proper pick.
Whatever.
Tag team champs. The Bar versus the Usos.
I'm going to go with the Usos. I like the Usos.
I don't know anything about either of them.
Day one-ish. I'm going
to go with the Bar.
Okay.
Because just based again on your prediction, which is most.
I don't like what you're doing here. Just so you know, I don't like it.
You don't have to like it.
Oh,
but you got to deal with it, Jack.
Okay, Ric Flair.
So, the men's elimination.
Okay.
So how do they do this?
Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
Okay. And now this is all at once. Or how are they doing? Like a round robin?
So you start with 2 people in the ring, and everybody else is outside on the apron. And you can tag in whoever you want.
Okay.
But when you get pinned or you submit, you're eliminated. And that keeps happening until there's only one person left on the team. And
10
if they
men
lose,
enter,
then
one
it's
man
over.
leaves.
Well, the whole team you could beat everybody on the other team, and your whole team stays and wins.
Oh,
yes.
So if the first guy just goes in and cleans up, the other guys just sit there and don't have to do anything.
Sure. Theoretically, yes.
Has that ever happened?
Yeah, something like that's happened before, of course.
So, all right. So on the men's teams,
you got Raw versus SmackDown.
All right. So we've got Kurt Angle, Triple H, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, and Samoa Joe.
Okay.
And that's one side.
Yep.
And then the other, we've got Shane McMahon, John Cena, Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bobby Roode.
I'm going to go with SmackDown. I got a feeling SmackDown's going to win.
Really?
I got a feel. I think that either Kurt Angle or Triple H is going to cost Raw the match there on SmackDown.
Triple H is a doofus, so I am going to agree with you on that one.
You're still disrespecting
I'm going to agree
the McMahon
that
family.
Triple H will do something wrong.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen.
Okay.
They're going to try some dirty tricks.
Sure.
It's not going to float.
Yeah.
And then the other guys are going to...
Thanks.
Maybe, and I just hope someone takes Triple H and drops him on his big doofus head.
You're just rude, man.
Because he deserves it.
Move on.
He deserves it. I'm not moving on.
Move on.
I'm still here.
Stop it.
So, now we go on to the women. The ladies.
Fox. You got Alicia Fox.
Yep. We got Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Bayley.
Okay.
That's one team. And this is the same kind of elimination match that we talked about a minute ago.
Sure.
Then on the other side, we've got Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Naomi, Carmella, and Tamina Snuka.
I'm going to go with Raw. I'm going to say Raw is going to find a way to win because, Sasha Banks is on that team. And Asuka. I just think that they're going to find a way.
Again, I think you're letting your libido get in the way of your judgment, perhaps. So I'm going to just take the opposite on that one.
Oh,
just because
what a surprise.
I just think that you aren't thinking clearly when it comes to Sasha Banks.
Okay, well, Sasha Banks, she's the boss. That's it. That's right.
So, Cruiserweight Championship.
Which is going to be the first match of the night.
Okay, so they start with this, and then we work back. Yeah, so we're going sort of counter grain.
Sure. Enzo
versus
Kalisto.
Yeah.
Enzo definitely wins this match.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I think that he has a lot of the momentum behind him, so let him win. So
how important is a Cruiserweight Championship?
It's important
at this pay-per-view kind of level.
Well, it's the first match of the night. It's gonna get the crowd whipped up.
Gets the crowd whipped. But I'm saying for a guy's career, with guys getting a push.
Yep.
Putting him here is important or not really? It's just a sort of because sometimes when they put the belt or they put a championship on him on somebody.
Yep.
They're pushing him a certain way.
Sure.
Or that.
Sure.
I mean, is this really an important step, or is this sort of like a maintenance step for a guy like this?
No, it's important. Anybody who holds a championship is important in the company.
All right. So that proves you'll never hold a championship.
I am Vince McMahon's champion.
He needs it. Trust me. He needs it.
You've heard what I think. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm a jerk? Maybe something in between? Head over to Facebook. Head over to Twitter. Type in Duke Loves Rasslin and let me know. I don't like when you say yup.
Well, it doesn't matter if you like it.
No, but I
you
just
got to deal with it.
I never like when you say yup. No one thinks I'm a jerk, by the way. Give me a break. Up next, we have some royalty in the house other than myself.
Please.
Prince Kanu.
This is Dusty Wolf, and I invite all you wrestling fans to join me over here on Duke Loves Rasslin. Gentlemen, it is I, the Royal Warrior, Prince Kanu. I have scoured the land, preferably in the south, but I've scoured the land, decimating, destroying, and dominating my foes, one by one, and making them all kneel and yell, power to the prince.
Whoa. This dude means serious business here, Jack.
I just like the fact that finally, I've been upgraded. I've been able to upgrade the royalty on this show. I have a real prince now instead of a fake duke, and I'm going to consider that a win for this show.
Give me a break. Oh, my goodness. Welcome to the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast, Prince Kanu. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. You should be honored to have me here.
Now, are there any law?
I will make sure, just as majestic as anywhere else I step in.
Now, I have to ask. I've been getting a lot of emails saying that in Nigeria, I have a lot of money coming to me. Is there any way, Prince Kanu, that you can help me get that money into my bank account?
I don't bother myself with any of that nonsense. You're talking to the wrong Nigerian.
That's
All
right.
right. Well, if you do ever hear of it, anybody you can point in my direction, I'd be very, very happy.
You should talk to Hambone and see how that went for him.
That's right, Hambone. Definitely talk to him.
He went to get money from what he thought was a royal prince. He got one from a royal prince, but the issue was I owned him. I owned him for a good, I say, year and a half.
Wow.
So you see how that works for you.
See that? That's what you get.
Well, I have to say that I'm now totally confused, but I'll go with it.
And
I'm good.
And very frightened.
Also very frightened.
So, Prince, because you're a Nigerian prince, do you have a harem of ladies who want to sign up to be your wife?
I have plenty of concubines just at my feet, at my total disposal.
Wow.
But
That's
they're
amazing.
all back in Nigeria. I don't deal with these American women. These American women with their ratchet hair and loose edges, I don't deal with them.
Whoa.
Wow. You know, I don't know if you know this, but back in the 80s, Eddie Murphy did a documentary about a Nigerian prince who came to America to find a lady. So I didn't know if maybe you were subscribing to the same kind of,
First and foremost, he was not Nigerian.
Oh, I'm sure you're right.
He wants to stick some cookie weird accent, use James Earl Jones and Arsenio Hall, and try to mimic the lifestyle of a true man of royalty, a true man of majestic quality such as myself.
Yeah, we wouldn't want anyone faking a kooky accent, that's for
right.
sure.
That's important. That's very important. Wow. So you got this thing down pat, brother. I got to tell you, I'm very impressed by this.
Now, you're highly regarded as a favorite among like I am, among the Nation of African American Wrestlers Facebook group. And they love me. I'm not royalty. You are royalty. What is it about you, Prince Kanu, that resonates with an audience like that?
Well, for one reason, just like the name states, African. Because I am true to my roots. I am true to who I am. A man of distinguished royalty from the continent of Africa, and more exactly, the country of Nigeria.
It's important.
That's why it resonates.
So you go right to the roots of it.
Right to the root of it. And then some people who likes that books and nerdy stuff wants to compare me to Black Panther, which preferably I think I'm better than him. I don't need fake metal or any kind of whatnot. But nonetheless, I'll take the compliment.
Wow.
We're finding out a lot here.
Yeah, we really
and I
are.
didn't realize that royalty could be so interesting and horrifying too, like very scary.
Don't play around.
I'm not messing around.
I'm just telling you, you're talking to a prince right now.
I know, but I'm honored to be in the same group as the prince.
Well, that's a good point.
I'm loved by all.
The
and I love
Boston
all
Bad
people.
Boy is a very popular member of the nation of African American wrestlers, so that's very important.
It's a significant achievement in my life. I may not be royalty,
yeah,
but I consider that I'm very proud moment.
Personal invite. So Prince, what promotions have you wrestled for?
I've wrestled for many promotions, such as Lone Star Championship Wrestling. That is where I debuted and fought people the likes of Luther Black. I fought alongside of Hambone when I owned him. I fought against Chaz Taylor, and I've dabbled in other places. Currently, I prioritize myself in Metroplex Wrestling, or otherwise known as MPX.
MPX.
Wow. Yeah. Now, I got to ask. Now, a lot of royalty spend their days, they ride in the back of car, they wave at crowds, they wave from balconies. Not a lot of royalty that I know of, really, have gotten into the wrestling business. There have been a few, Duke. There have been a few people of royal lineage to jump in over the years, but it's not common. So what does the rest of the royal family think, A, Prince Kanu, and how does a prince go from hanging out, having grapes fed and fanned by pretty ladies to jumping in the ring and kicking butt?
The royal family is appreciative that I am the rightful entity that is representing them, as representing what true royalty stands for and what I can be able to do in that ring.
And the true warrior mentality of the royals.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
See?
Hence name. I'm not the common royal, little person that sits there and runs behind someone else or hides under the ring or anything like that.
So you're not Prince Nana.
Anyone.
You are not Prince Nana. That's what it is.
With all due respect to Prince Nana, I hold him to high regard because he has put the foundation for someone like me to step up, to climb up and show the warrior side. He showed royalty, and now it's time for someone like me to show what a warrior can do.
Wow. So let me ask you, because you mentioned a couple of different indie promotions. What is the difference from promotion to promotion on the indie scene? Are they all the same, or are there nuances amongst them?
They can be very various differences. For instance, Lone Star and MPX both have loyal fans. Even with MPX itself, they have fans. They call themselves the MPX addicts. I call them the MPX crack addicts. Either way.
Well, that almost got a genuine spit take. I have to say that was very close.
That was close.
I was almost wearing Duke's energy drink.
Wow.
Very well done, sir.
Either way, every promotion is different because some could be like the mom and pop type of promotion where they bring their kids in and they look at me and they want to stick out their tongue and I sit there and roar at them, and then now they hide behind their mother and father if they have one. Other places like MPX want to test my patience.
Uh-oh.
And want to test my age. And when you test my age, you will get cut drastically.
Look at that. See, because they are not your size. You tell them they're not your size. Digging into something here, we did some research on you. We know that you were trained by the very popular and beloved Tugboat Taylor. May the Lord rest his soul there. We know we just lost him recently. Talk to us about Tugboat and just your time spent being trained by him and brought up in the wrestling business by him.
Well, okay. Being trained by him was a great experience. He gave me my foundation to be the Royal Warrior. He educated me on the fundamentals of wrestling and presenting a character. and just those and proper back, locker etiquette and being a professional 100% through and through. So I've always appreciated Tug for that.
Wow. Now, when you first started off in the business and being trained by Tugboat, did you hit it off personally with him, or did you ever have a rough patch with him where you had to gain his trust, or was that immediate?
Just like anything, you have to develop, your desire to be a professional wrestler, and sometimes it takes some bumps along the road. For one instance, I was supposed to accompany some other people to go to a show, and I arrived late, left me. So I had to travel myself over there. And once I got there and saw Tug, he legit put the fear of God in me, letting me know that I should never, ever have the boys waiting for me or come late to a wrestling event that I'm being booked at.
Wow.
So from that point on, I always made sure I arrived on time as best as possible.
Were lessons like that important for your development, and how has that affected you now that you're actually a legitimate professional wrestler? Has that helped you, or has that hurt you in any way?
That has absolutely 100% helped me develop a professional wrestler. I believe in, doing what's necessary for the show. Those are things that Tug taught me. I believe when someone who has been in the business longer than you has some knowledge to give you, you shut up and you listen. As they always say, keep your mouth closed and your ears open. And I consistently do that. Any promotion I go to, with anyone that is senior of me in this wrestling business that has some knowledge to give me.
Wow. We're talking to Prince Kanu, the royalty in pro wrestling right now, and he's giving us some information about his late great trainer, Tugboat Taylor. Now, I hear that there's going to be a memorial show in Tug's honor. Do you have any information about that? I know it's still a little early here, but do you have any information about the memorial show?
From what I know, Domination Zone Wrestling, otherwise known as these, will have a tribute show for Tugboat Taylor, December 10th. The information is on Facebook. Just type in DZW Katy, Texas.
DZW, good stuff. Good
so
stuff.
You just make sure it's DZW Katy and not some DZW in I don't know, Albuquerque or something like that.
Yeah, you don't want to end up in Albuquerque, I'll tell you that.
Now, let me ask you, did Tug ever give you that big elbow drop? Because he was a big dude, and he would go to the top rope and then drop that huge arm on his opponent. Were you ever on the receiving end of one of those?
No, unfortunately, I was not one of the recipients of the famous Inca drop.
Oh, wow.
When I was training, and others like Luther and another wrestler by the name of Haywire, we all trained under his eye. His son Chaz and another trainer named DJ King actually did the physical training and help us to get to where we need to get to do our first matches.
Wow. Well, shout out to Chaz Taylor, the son of Tugboat Taylor, and a guy who was a big-time star in the old Global Wrestling Federation. In fact, Sean X-Pac Waltman, when he first started out, one of his first feuds was with Chaz Taylor, in addition to Jerry Lynn there. But all those guys, they were under the tutelage of the late, great Tugboat Taylor. If you could say any final words to Tug, Prince Kanu, I'm going to give you an open mic here. What would be any final words for Tug?
Tug, I just want you to know, thank you. Thank you for what you have done for me and others, such as, again, Luther, Haywire, other people like Paul Titan, Mysterious Q, and various individuals, DJ King, Silky Baines, various individuals, because you trained them and they passed down that knowledge. Colony Soto, Brianne, those individuals that have learned from you, they've brought it down and taught me and those others to keep your legacy alive. Thank you, Tug. Love you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Prince, if fans want to get in touch with you online, what's the best way that they can reach you?
They can be able to contact me through, it is at the Prince Kanu. That is THPRINCEKANU. The same for Instagram and the same for Facebook.
Good stuff.
Now, Prince Kanu, can I ask you one last thing before we go? Since you are real royalty and Duke is a phony baloney, could you drop an elbow on him for me?
Give me a break.
Sometime in the near future.
Give me a break.
I can do various things. He might catch the peasant killer knee. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness. That's it.
Or I might thrash him with the heart of the motherland.
Oh,
I don't want to have anything to do with the heart of the motherland, okay? That's the end of that. I'm wrapping this guy up.
If I could add one thing.
yeah.
One name I almost forgot to mention, but Big Ric Martinez, another student of Tug's that I give great respect to, just like all the others.
Well, I'm going to pay Big Ric Martinez to be my bodyguard because I don't want to have anything heart of the motherland anywhere near me, okay? His name is Prince Kanu. Thank you for joining us, Your Majesty.
I have other situations going on. More important things. I have a whole village to run, but I'm occupying my Tug. But this is for Tug. Listen, this is always and will forever be for Tug.
You know what I don't understand is that you don't have to, while you're putting over the guests, you don't have to disrespect me.
Well, you know what?
Okay.
I call that a bonus.
No.
Because I get to kill two birds with one stone.
No. Just because he's a prince, that doesn't mean I'm not the Duke.
You know what I thought was funny and very telling?
What's that?
You asked him if Tug had ever given him the elbow.
Sure.
Which was renowned for being, because he's a big dude.
Big dude.
And that's from a top rope. And he goes, never had the opportunity. You know, it was like they would have liked to. Like,
Sure,
that would have been considered an honor.
Yeah.
Most people would think that that's an insane thing.
300-pound man dropping his massive elbow on
you
me.
know you're not only a pro wrestler, but you're a wrestling geek.
Yeah.
And that's a respect mark there.
Sure.
To say, you know what? The one thing I regret I didn't get?
Yep.
The elbow from the top rope. I wish I'd gotten the elbow.
You know, Rudy Gonzalez, friend of the show, he tells a
Habitual
story.
line stepper,
That's
by the
right.
way.
Yes, he is.
Rudy Gonzalez.
Yes, he is. He tells a story of when he first wrestled Tug, and somebody told him to watch out for the elbow. So Rudy is laying on the mat, and Tug goes up to the top rope. He tells him, "Don't move,"
because I got it mapped out.
And Tug comes off that top rope with that elbow coming full speed. Rudy moved. He wasn't going to take that elbow.
This is Rudy's problem. He doesn't listen.
See? Well,
he doesn't take advice.
This is why Rudy can still walk today.
Yeah, well,
because he wasn't taking elbows from Tug Taylor, brother.
Right.
I'll tell you that right now. Right.
Yeah. So this whole royalty thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not fully convinced. I still think I want my money that all these Nigerian people are promising me in my emails.
Really?
They say I have an uncle who died over there.
Well, maybe you do.
Maybe I can get the Nation of African American Wrestling Fans.
Yes,
we can
get
do
on
like
this.
a genealogy thing.
Yes.
We can find my African uncle, and I can track down all that money. It's something like $25 million.
Dude, listen, let me hold some of that.
You ain't touching
Let
that.
me
You're not
hold a
touching
couple million.
my Nigerian
Don't
money
be
is
selfish,
mine.
man.
I'm going
Jeez.
to clothe myself in beautiful robes of silk when I get that money.
Wash your hair in berries.
Yeah, there'll be people fanning me with palm fronds.
Sure.
You know, I'll be a new man. I'll tell you that.
Coming to America 2.0 here.
Getting out of America.
That's
what I'm
more
going
like
to be doing.
Jeez. Folks, up next, finally, the Boston Bad Boy is going to do his job, and we're going to have some of your listener submitted questions.
maybe. I'm going to explain a new format that I worked on here
Well,
with no help or input from you, by the way.
Stop putting yourself over, man.
And I think that maybe I've gotten a little something where I've succeeded where you consistently fail.
Stop putting yourself over. Give me a break. But before we get to any of that, folks, just want to remind you, head over to the YouTube, type in Duke Loves Rasslin. You can listen to all of our previous episodes. I mean, we have interviews with Scoot Andrews, Peter Vesey, Al Snow, and you name it. Just the who's who in sports and wrestling.
You didn't mention me. They get to listen to me.
Well, yeah, you get to hear the Boston bad boy make a fool out of himself.
I love
as well.
Speaking of fool, I love how you say the YouTube, like my Nana would say.
That's right.
What is it? Head over to the YouTube.
Yes. Well, because
it's called YouTube.
No, the YouTube, as in our page.
Oh, so you would say, why don't you say head over to our page on YouTube? The YouTube. You sound like the crotchety old man that you are.
Well, that's right.
And you know what? You're bringing me down.
I own it.
And I don't like it.
I'm Coop the Comedian, and you're listening to Duke Loves Rasslin.
Shout out to the funniest man in all of Canada, Coop the Comedian. That's our buddy there. You know, Alanis Morissette has a crush on him.
And since Jim Carrey left,
yeah, Jim Carrey, please. He doesn't have anything on Coop. That's my boy. That's right.
He's got that crazy beard, though.
Yes, he does.
Oof.
You know?
Did you see that new documentary they're doing with him? It's basically a behind-the-scenes documentary of when he made Man on the Moon.
No.
So Man on the Moon about
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Mm-hmm. There's your wrestling connection before you start getting on my case.
See?
But they did a behind the scenes while they were making that movie that was never released because they thought people would think Jim Carrey was a jerk, and because he played Kaufman
method acting,
which is just insane.
Yeah.
But it looked kind of funny. And Jim's actually in it, which is cool. And he seems kind of normal, which I'm glad about because the last few times we've seen him in public, it didn't seem so great.
There.
A little out there even for him.
Yeah.
So. Well. But, yes, this is the final segment of tonight's show. I'm so happy about it because it means I almost get to leave.
Okay. Well, just come with the listener-submitted questions.
Well, let me tell you about the listener-submitted questions.
Boy, here we go.
Clearly,
here we go.
I had to take matters into my own hands because you don't know what you're doing.
Of course not.
No.
Of course not.
From A to Z, you don't know what you're doing.
Sure.
Let me tell you how to get answers and questions from this group.
Please do.
Because this group, you got to treat them mean to keep them keen. You know what I mean? That's how you treat these people.
What?
That's how you treat these listeners, okay? So I put a post in the group, which I don't like to do because I don't like to mingle amongst the great unwashed masses.
Watch this guy.
So I say, okay, you clowns, listen up. I'm going to allow them to ask some questions for this week's show, but you got to submit them below, okay? Submit them in writing right here.
Wow.
It's for everyone to see. Capiche? And I put a picture of Rowdy Piper, okay? Because I meant business.
Yeah, there is. Right. Good
and
job.
Nothing means business more than a man in a kilt.
That's the only reason why they paid attention to it, because Piper was in it.
So, you know what? How many you couldn't get one good question from a normal human being. I got 25, 30 responses.
I got an inbox full. What are you talking about?
Where is this inbox? Is it a paper mail? Is that what it is? Yes, it's all jammed in there?
Mail.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
So we have a couple of questions here. I haven't even really looked at this because I don't care.
Good surprise.
But I'm gonna surprise. I'm gonna kind of go down here and see who
who you like, right?
Yeah, Lenny jumped in.
Okay,
our good friend.
Yeah, good man.
And he said, "What's the subject? Whatever you want, Lenny." The subject's wrestling, Lenny.
The original Hitman.
The Hitman. Keep up with us, okay? So,
Lenny.
Yeah, Lenny got a little askew on that one.
What's the subject?
But he actually did. So let's start with Lenny, because he had a little back and forth. But then he said he would like to ask why they wants to ask you why they let Emma go after they started to push her. Because he thinks that's just typical. It seems he thinks that's typical WWE.
They're too top heavy. I mean, the reality situation is they have female wrestlers that they're bringing in who are younger.
Okay.
Cost less money, and they feel will work harder.
So it is big business. It's Vince just trying to nickel and dime everybody
and
not have to pay anybody, and he doesn't care if the product suffers.
They had record profits again this quarter.
Profits,
greatest quarter ever. Last year was the greatest year ever.
Enron,
the greatest quarter.
Enron had record profits too, right before it all blew up.
Well.
By the way, he wanted to just make a note that Heyman looks like Jeff Dunham's dummy. So.
Oh my God! Stop it, Lenny. He knows Heyman, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so let's see. Old Man Wade.
Old Man Wade
chimed in. He wants to know why are the NXT pay-per-views better than the main roster?
Because that's subjective, okay?
No, he said it. Now answer his question.
Well, it's subjective. I'm telling him right now because he prefers more of an indie style wrestling, and NXT lends itself more to the indie fans there. That's why, And listen, I'm going to say something. Old Man Wade has a wife, Maria.
Oh boy, you ain't gonna be talking about this guy's wife.
She's rude. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there right now. She's very rude. She's disrespectful. And I don't appreciate it.
Okay, can I just tell you something? Do you remember last week we had on this show a wrestler whose wife was insulted, and he was going to rip the guy's head off?
Yeah, I don't
you better
know.
watch it talking about people's wives.
You're right.
Okay,
You're right.
You think you'd learn? You think you'd know? But you're not very bright tonight.
Maria,
I'm telling you,
you're
off your
rude.
game.
Okay,
you're off your game. Okay, so a friend of mine, the pastor of wrestling, Kevin West.
That's right.
He wants to know: do you think that the WWE should have kept American Alpha together instead of breaking them up? And your thoughts on Omega versus Jericho at Wrestle Kingdom?
America Alpha absolutely had to break up. It was soon, but I get it. Because Jason Jordan, watch that guy. He's going to be something else.
Boy, I want to wonder how wrong you are and how everyone listening to this right now is going to... I can't wait. So everybody who submitted a question, go back to the question and disagree with Duke, which most of you are going to do.
That's never going to happen.
No, most of you are going to do that, and that would be the right thing to do.
As far as Jericho and Omega, I don't care. I don't like Kenny Omega. And Chris Jericho, he's not on my good list right now. So, the two of them, they can just go jump in a lake.
Jump in a lake.
That's right.
Boy, that's pretty good.
Chris Jericho, you know something? You're banned from coming on this podcast. How about that? Okay,
I'm sure he's really worried about that. I am officially
banning Chris Jericho from ever appearing on the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast.
Boy, he's going to have to do all of his new publicity because of that.
Until he apologizes to Ryan Satin, Chris Jericho is not allowed on the Duke Loves Rasslin podcast. That's the end of it.
Wow. That's
taking a stand.
I love how you take a stand against imaginary scenarios because
I'm just
Oh, by the way, we've got to jump on this because No Allah. This guy, one of your favorites.
He thinks Sasha Banks is in love with him or something. She doesn't even know who he is.
Listen, Sasha Banks is there's a reality that Sasha Banks is closer to being in love with him than Roman Reigns is being your nemesis. Okay,
well,
so
we go with the
you're both
nonsense
crazy.
now. Okay,
so he wants to know, and the reason you'll find out why I'm asking. What do you think the future is of TNA, and do you think there are any releases after WrestleMania?
TNA is going to, I mean, they technically don't exist. He's talking about Impact Wrestling, but their future is in the toilet. I mean, that's it. They're running that company in the ground, man.
Now, this is the Billy Corgan touch, right?
No. Well, Billy Corgan was part of it, but he's gone now. But are you saying that he cursed them? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying he's leaving.
Stop it.
He's leaving his taint.
Stop it.
All over it.
Would you just stop it
now?
It
recently came out that Billy Corgan doesn't think that the band Nickelback is bad, which is more crazy than him talking to lizard people.
We've had this conversation. I like Nickelback.
Okay.
Would you stop it?
All right, I will not. I'm going to edit that out of this show because you're not allowed. No one is allowed to be in my presence that likes Nickelback.
I like Nickelback. All right.
Nickelback is everything that's wrong with popular music. And you know what? Listen, they're making a lot of money.
Sure.
Whatever. Let's not call it rock. Let's just call it what it is. It's almost like Jimmy.
Awesome.
It's like Jimmy Buffett. Jimmy Buffett doesn't exist in the realm of music. It's its own. It's like Disney World. It's its own thing.
It's greater. That's
not
right.
greater. It's different.
Nickelback.
It's not greater.
Those are my boys.
No, shut up for Nickelback.
Stop it.
You and Billy Corgan can go talk to the lizard people about Nickelback.
Fine.
And you and you know what? Go on Alex Jones. I'm sure you'll have a great time talking about lizard people.
He would not.
No,
like
I think he'd like you a lot.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I think he'd like you a lot.
That's the problem.
And I think that he'd have a lot to say about Hillary Clinton.
Wow.
And you.
Yeah.
So there's more questions on this. I mean, Old Man Wade, he went a little crazy. He was asked. I didn't say 17 effing questions from one person.
See?
I said submit your questions. So we're working on these people.
This is your fault.
We're working on these.
Don't look at
like
me.
I said, we're working on these clowns.
This is your fault.
There's more questions to come.
Yeah.
I'm going to refine them. I'm going to get them in line. And then we're going to have a proper show.
Well, good. At least you finally did your job this week. I appreciate that.
I've had enough. So that means it's time for my question.
Oh, I don't think you deserve a question. You just
listen. I went the extra mile to do the job you can't do.
Putting yourself
to
over.
Get questions on this show, and this is my just reward.
Okay, here we go. Come on.
So you mentioned earlier that the idiot son-in-law, also known as Triple H, will be part of Survivor Series in the main event. And, of course, thinking about that, it's odd. It's a bit odd because here's a guy, he's not generally an active part of the roster. Yet somehow he sidles himself. He foists himself.
Foisted.
He foists himself onto the main event at one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. Now, tell me this. How does a man like that foist himself on there? Because it's clearly not his wrestling prowess.
Well, I mean, come on. The storyline was they had one spot left on Team Raw to go against Team SmackDown, and that spot, Jason Jordan had it, but then they realized that Triple H, he's a bigger name, and the fans got excited about it, so they bumped Jason Jordan, put Triple H in there. It makes sense.
So wait a minute.
You know?
They have a guy in Triple H who has wrestled less matches in the past, 4 years than most active wrestlers will do in one. And all of a sudden, he gets leapfrogged, foisted in.
Foisted.
And that spot that should go to a young and hungry wrestler like Jason Jordan, they don't get the shot? There's a guy that wrestles a full schedule. This is the biggest pay-per-view, or one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year. This guy's busting his ass.
All right.
Put him on the pay-per-view.
All right. Look, have you seen Jason Jordan?
Triple H is nothing more than a pumped-up, no good, glorified part-timer.
Stop it.
He's a punk. He's a dope.
Stop it.
He's an idiot son-in-law.
Stop it. Listen, he's a big name. All right, he's box office. You got to sell pay-per-views. You got to sell merchandise.
You got to put on a good show, and that's not happening.
Listen,
if he's involved, it's not happening.
Jason Jordan is a very good wrestler. I give him credit, but he's still, learning the ropes there. He's not all the way there.
Is he on the roster?
Yeah, he's definitely on the
roster.
roster.
Then put him on the effing show.
All right,
put him on the show because the real reason why Triple H is in the main event because he's a self-serving, egotistical doofus who happened to marry the boss's daughter.
All right,
and that's putting the long-term success of this company, in my opinion, which is the correct opinion, in jeopardy.
Every week.
And it's spoiling, it's taking the donkey carcass and throwing it in the well so that no one can drink the water. Because it's going to spread like a stain. The doofus stain will spread and spread and spread. And you know what? No, you're not cutting me off.
I'm done with you.
It's just a matter of time.
Thank you to Prince Kanu for joining us today. Folks, you can head over to Facebook, head over to Twitter, type in Duke Loves Rasslin. Let me know what you think of the show.
But don't submit your questions until I tell you to, and I'll tell you where to submit them.
The Boston bad boy needs to get out of here because he's being disrespectful about Triple H.
I'm sick of sitting in here looking at you.
Leave my friends, part of the McMahon family, alone.
Friends,
okay?
real
they're
or
my
imagined.
Friends. They're my friends.
I mean, you might have had a blankie when you were a kid.